And in the main event, it was Cody Rhodes defending the WWE Championship against Gunther and Sami Zayn. This was Sami's 10th opportunity at a world title here on the main roster. That means he failed 9 times coming into this. He already had a WWE Championship match in Saudi this year. That was at the Rumble 6 months ago. So it would have been pretty bad for him to come in here on his 10th try, twice in 1 year in Riyadh, and lose again. But he didn't lose. They did the damn thing. And so 10 years and 10 chances later, Sami Zayn is a world champion. And it's been quite the journey for him to get to this point, from Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania to the WWE Championship. From Sami Uso and the Bloodline to the WWE Championship. From the Gingerbread Man 2 months ago to the WWE Championship. So I guess what I'm saying is the moral of the story is, for all of the LA Knight fans out there, never give up hope. There's still a chance. It might be fleeting. It might be like a little flicker, but there's still a chance. I thought it was an excellent main event. It was an excellent main event with an excellent closing sequence. And I like that it was Cody Rhodes, the champion, that Sami pinned to do it, and not Gunther. This should give the title scene on SmackDown a nice little shakeup heading into SummerSlam. And it presents a lot of options for where they could potentially go with this, including the very real possibility that Sami gets the 2-month Drew McIntyre run from earlier this year, or even worse, because they have that Saturday night's main event show coming up on July 18th at Madison Square Garden. I don't even see Sami getting the Jinder Mahal run that Vince gave Jinder. Vince gave Jinder a whole 6 months with that belt. Even Kofi Kingston got 6 months before he got squashed by Brock Lesnar. I don't think Sami even gets that long. And I see some people online now, more and more people actually, floating this idea of Brock Lesnar beating Sami Zayn at Saturday night's main event and then defending that championship against Oba Femi at SummerSlam. I don't mind them doing another Brock and Oba match at SummerSlam, but the thought of putting another belt on Brock Lesnar just nauseates me. Like, no. We don't need that. I'm not saying that I can't see them doing it. I can absolutely see them doing it. All right, big Madison Square Garden moment. Brock Lesnar wins the belt just to transition it over to Oba Femi. Literally the definition of a transitional champion. But just the thought of putting another belt on Brock and him squashing Sami the way that he squashed Kofi. Can we not? Please. Do they run Sami and Cody back in a singles match at SummerSlam with Oba challenging Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship? This seems to me like the likeliest scenario at the moment. I may feel differently after, Raw tomorrow or SmackDown on Friday, but at this moment, as I sit here and I go through in my mind the list of all the various match possibilities for SummerSlam or Saturday night's main event, I could definitely see it being Oba and Roman, Cody and Sami, one-on-one. And I could also see, by the way, if they do Roman and Oba, Brock costing Oba in that match, saving Roman's title, and then they go off and do Brock against Oba one last time, and they save the Oba coronation for WrestleMania next year because they feel like they want to drag out the chase and they want to make people wait for it, or they want to do it on the big stage. And I agree, you don't always have to do the big one at WrestleMania. I'm just telling you, this is how they think. So if he was to be screwed out of the championship by Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, Brock doesn't wrestle, but he shows up and screws him there on that show. That's what they would do. They would do it with that in mind, with the idea that, okay, we're going to save it for Mania, especially next year, because they got Mania in Saudi, and they're going to want to load that show up and have as many attractions and big moments as they possibly can. This is how they think. I'm not saying that that's how I would book it out, but there are people who are like, no, why does it always have to happen at WrestleMania? I agree, it doesn't, but this is how it is. CM Punk, he's rumored to be heading to SmackDown with a big SummerSlam match planned. How does he fit into the SummerSlam picture? Punk did commentary on Friday night for the CFFC, the Cage Fury Fighting Championships, And as the other announcers were plugging one of their upcoming events, they asked Punk, are you going to be there? And Punk asked them, is that a Friday? I don't know. And they confirmed, yep, it's on a Friday. And Punk said, it's a Friday? I don't know if I can make it. And then they asked him, do you have any big news that you want to go viral with? And he said, I gained 20 pounds recently. It's not good weight. This suit's a little tight, ladies and gentlemen. I think people are looking more forward to what CM Punk looks like physically when he returns than anything else. All this garbage about him being on steroids and him being a body guy now. I have a feeling people are going to be very disappointed when he shows up on Raw in Chicago in a few weeks. But where does Punk fit into all this? If Punk's going to be on that SummerSlam card in supposedly a big match, and any match he's going to be in on that show is going to be a big match, whether it's for a title or not, what are we looking at, right? Punk coming in and going right into a championship match wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense. But you could do Punk and Cody as an undercard match. That doesn't work, though. The whole basis of the Punk and Cody stuff was built around the championship. Remember what Punk told Cody when they were on Raw the last time we saw Punk? You never know when a championship opportunity may fall out of the sky. And it's like, now you're going to do Punk and Cody with no championship on the line? I mean, to me, that just doesn't make a lot of sense. So I don't know what his role would be, but you got to just keep him in mind, too. He should be back on television imminently. What about Gunther? Where does Gunther go from here? He's now lost 3 straight championship matches, technically 4. If you want to count that little 3-minute match when they restarted on SmackDown last week. What the hell did they do with him? I think we got a little peek into what they might be doing with him because they shot an angle for social media after the show where Gunther got to the back. He was in the gorilla position. He got to the back. He got all up in Nick Aldis's face. Adam Pearce wasn't there. Nick Aldis was the one basically handing the crown off to everybody after their match. He gets up in Nick Aldis's face. They had to be pulled apart by agents. And they got physical. And I think Aldis even dropped an F-bomb in there, and they had to be separated. And you look at that and you go, well, it looks like Nick Aldis may finally be donning the tights. He may finally be wrestling in WWE. And I'm like, are we really looking at a scenario where we're going into the second biggest show of the year, and their big idea for Gunther is to put him in the ring with the general manager, the retired, for all intents and purposes, retired general manager of SmackDown. This is the man who 7 months ago ended John Cena's career and sent him off into the sunset with a loss, who tapped him out. The man who retired AJ Styles in January. I guarantee you, when we were talking about this in December and we were talking about this in January, at no point on any of the podcasts that I did or that anybody else did or any discourse on social media, when people were thinking about, well, looking ahead 6 months, who might Gunther be wrestling in Minneapolis at SummerSlam? I guarantee you not a single fucking person said, what about Nick Aldis? Oh, yeah, sure. The guy who retired 2 of the biggest stars in the company, yeah, he'll be wrestling the general manager at SummerSlam this year. Give me a fucking break. If you would have told me then that this is where we would be, I would have an entire podcast of nothing but laughing. I'd be laughing for 2 hours straight at the stupidity of it. But I'll tell you what I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind it if Nick Aldis were to tell him, you know what, I'm not going to get in the ring with you because I'm the general manager and it wouldn't be right for me. It would be unprofessional for me. I would be abdicating my duties, and I enjoy my job too much as the general manager to sacrifice it for somebody like you. But I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to find a surrogate. I'm going to find a suitable opponent to put you in the ring with at SummerSlam, and let that be the return of Ilya Dragunov. And give us an undercard match at SummerSlam between Gunther and Dragunov. That I would be okay with. That I would love to see. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have a championship on the line, but so what? What a great way to reintroduce Dragunov back to the main roster. And also give Gunther somebody that he can beat, because Dragunov ain't going to beat him. So at least Gunther would get back in the win column. And then the only other name I would throw in there in this whole mix of like, what happens next? Johnny Gargano. I mentioned this. I threw this out in my review last night. I said, what about Johnny Gargano? Is Johnny Gargano, now that Sami Zayn won the championship, going to stop planking every week And maybe they're going to turn him into like a stooge for Sami. Wouldn't be the worst spot for him to be in. He could be the sacrificial lamb whenever somebody comes after Sami. He just throws Gargano in the way and they destroy Gargano. The point is there are lots of questions, and I'm here for it. I like it. This is what makes for interesting discussion. And hopefully, interesting television. One more note on this. Kevin Owens, I thought of him as well. When Sami won the belt, I said, man, it's a shame he's not around. And he clearly feels the same way. He posted a long message on X after the show saying, I've missed a lot of things that I wish I had not in the last 15 months because of this injury, but today is by far the one that I wish I had been there for the most. He has brought out the best in me as both an ally and a foe. That's because he is the best. When you're consistently that good for that long, you become undeniable. Sami becoming WWE champion was inevitable. He has deserved that moment for a very long time, and I am so happy to see him finally get it. The only thing that was missing was Kevin Owens being there live to give him a hug and then beat the living shit out of him. It's the only thing that was missing. It would be a very Kevin Owens thing to do. I don't know where he is with his recovery. I think next month is 12 months, I believe, a full year since he had the neck surgery, and I imagine he's not that close yet to being medically cleared, but I sure hope we can get him back real soon. SmackDown could use Kevin Owens back on TV.